Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Vishabham Sabharaj Gita, Sto Des at the CC Mud. A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Vishnupad Bham Sabharaj Gita, Sto Des at the CC Mud Bhakti Siddhanta Sasi Thakur Prabhupada ki. Go Premanandi. So for this last class of the weekend festival, we're mostly going to have questions. Because questions in Bhakti are very important. And as we always explain, generally questions are of two types in Bhakti. You want to inquire about what will accelerate your spiritual progress, and you want to inquire about what will deter or impede your spiritual progress. And such questions are beneficial for everyone. As we'll hear in the verse today and the purport, the one who answers the questions benefits the most. Then comes the one who asks the questions in terms of the hierarchy of benefit. And then those in the audience. So everyone benefits. But then if you want to go into the fine print, the one who answers the questions benefits the most. The one who asks the questions next, and then those in the audience. The whole of Srimad Bhagavatam is based on questions and answers. And, as we often explain, when it comes to Srimad Bhagavatam, the questions are as important as the answers. The questions teach you how to focus. They teach you what is especially important. So you have the questions by Pritchett Maharaj to Shukadeva Goswami, questions by the sages at Naimisharanya, headed by Shonika. They're asking Sutta Goswami. So don't simply pay attention to the answers. The questions are always power-packed with deep meanings. So it's not just that the question is a stripped-down, bare construct. No, the questions asked by the sages, whether Pritchett Maharaj or the sages at Naimisranya, are loaded with content. And then, of course, the answers take you to another level. So we're going to speak from 10th Canto, Chapter 1, Text 16. This is Shukadeva Goswami's reply to the questions that Pritchett Maharaj asked to start off the 10th canto. Basically, Pritchett Maharaj is asking, what did Krishna do? I've heard he did this, I heard he did that. Can you talk about this, please? And Shukadeva Goswami is going to reply in the previous verse, Samyag Vyavasita Buddhis Tavarajarshi Sattama Vasudeva Katayam Te Yajjata Naistiki Rati. He refers to Pritchett Maharaj as Rajarshi Sattama, best of the saintly kings. O your majesty, best of all saintly kings, because you are greatly attracted to topics of Vasudeva, it is certain that your intelligence is firmly fixed in spiritual understanding, which is the only true goal for humanity. Because that attraction is increased, because that attraction is unceasing, it is certainly sublime. So in the purport for this verse, Srila Prabhupada tells us that Krishna Katha is compulsory for the Rajarshi, or executive head of the government. What do you say about that? This is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Imam Raja Seovidu. Unfortunately, however, in this age, the governmental power is gradually being captured by third-class and fourth-class men who have no spiritual understanding, and society is therefore very quickly becoming degraded. Krishna Katha must be understood by the executive heads of government, for otherwise, how will people be happy and gain relief from the pangs of materialistic life? And also later in the purport he writes, Krishna Katha is so enlivening that Maharaj Pritchett forgot everything material, even his personal comfort in relation to food and drink. This is an example of how the Krishna consciousness movement should spread all over the world to bring both the speaker and the audience to the transcendental platform and back home, back to Godhead. So now we'll discuss today's verse. Vasudeva, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrims. Tatpada Salilam Yata. Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrims. Tatpada Salilam Yata. Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrims. Tatpada Salilam Yata.
Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrams. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrams. Tatpada Salilam Yata. Tatpada Salilam Yata.
Vaishnavis.
Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrams. Tatpada Salilam Yata. Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrams. Tatpada Salilam Yata. Vasudeva Kata Prashna. Purusham Strin Punatihi. Bhaktaram Prachakam Shrotrams. Tatpada Salilam Yata.
Vasudeva Kata Prashna.
Vasudeva Kata Prashna.
Questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Vasudeva. Krishna. Purushan. Persons. Trin. Three. Punati. Purify. He. Indeed. Bhaktaram. The speaker. Such as Shukadeva Goswami. Prachakam. And an inquisitive hearer like Maharaj Parikshit. Srotrin. And between them, the listeners hearing about the topics. Tatpada Salinam Yata. Exactly as the entire world is purified by the Ganges water, emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu. Translation. The Ganges, emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu, purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, three varieties of men are purified. The speaker or preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. Purport. It is said, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. Those interested in understanding transcendental subject matters as the goal of life must approach the bona fide spiritual master, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta. One must surrender to such a guru who can give right information about Krishna. Herein, Maharaj Preachit has surrendered to the right personality, Shukadeva Goswami, for enlightenment in Vasudeva Katha. Vasudeva is the original personality of Godhead, who has unlimited spiritual activities. Srimad Bhagavatam is a record of such activities, and Bhagavad Gita is the record of Vasudeva speaking personally. Therefore, since the Krishna consciousness movement is full of Vasudeva Katha, anyone who hears, anyone who joins the movement, and anyone who preaches will be purified. Om Agana Chimadandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Always remember the point that our activities should be full of Vasudeva Katha. That is the whole purpose of our being together. That's the purpose of our individual lifestyle and our collective lifestyles. That Vasudeva Katha talks about Krishna should be foremost. You may think, how can that be done when so many are working, tending to home affairs, family affairs? But the centerpiece should always be there. Hearing and chanting about Krishna. As we said the other day, when we forget that, life becomes so complicated and entangling. So many other lesser priorities grab the center stage. And then we start to wonder, well, let's be practical. We have to push on our daily affairs. It's just not possible to have that focus on Krishna Katha like we once had. That was when we were younger devotees. But now that we've moved on into our own work affairs, our own family affairs, paying rent, paying mortgages, all that good stuff, we just have to be practical and pragmatic. Probably when we get older, that's when we'll get back to the hearing and chanting. But for now, life has to go on. The constant negotiations of family affairs, negotiations, arbitrations, dealing with pressures at the workplace, trying to find a workplace, dealing with property affairs, whether rented or bought. These things can just assume the pride of place in our life. So yes, one has to tend to practical affairs, but understand that those daily affairs should be like the setting upon which the jewel of hearing and chanting rests. But when you reverse the situation, when your spiritual life becomes like the background and in the foreground are all your activities of material support, then there's a problem. The ideal circumstance for your spiritual development is that your material affairs provide a setting for your spiritual affairs, which are the jewel. Just like you have a ring, and there's the ring may be a gold band or it may be a very cheap band, but on top of the ring rests the jewel. So we should always know what the jewel of our life is. Sometimes we think, how can it be so simple? But it is very simple. But the age of Kali throws at you so many unnecessary complexities which dominate the whole scene. And it's amazing. You'll find it works every time. As soon as you get back to putting hearing and chanting about Krishna as the centerpiece, things become clear, even in the most apparently intricate circumstances. So the hearing and talking about Krishna is not only your anchor, but it's your rudder for your ship. It keeps you fixed amidst the storms of Kali Yuga. No matter what your body throws at you, no matter what your mind throws at you, no matter what the external world throws at you, you have your anchor in the storm. You have your shelter in the storm. And also, hearing and chanting about Krishna gives you the rudder. It gives you direction, keeps you on track for the ultimate goal of life, which is to return back to Krishna. So questions about Krishna are so important. And questions about Krishna include how to serve Krishna better. Some of you have heard of the term Ishtagoshti. It's come to mean anytime devotees come together and talk about whatever. That's called an Ishtagoshti. But no, the term actually refers to gatherings of devotees to discuss how to serve Krishna better, not just to talk about any subject matter that comes to the mind. How to serve Krishna better. So those kinds of questions are glorious. So in this verse, Shukadeva Goswami is giving the example of the Ganges, how the flow of the Ganges purifies all the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. He uses that as a comparison. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, three types of persons achieve purification. The speaker, the one who asks the questions, and the people in general who listen. So the more you realize that Srimad Bhagavatam is about questions and answers. It's not very complex a work at all. It's encyclopedic in scope, but actually its structure is very simple. Nested dialogues. The sages at Naimisaranya are asking Sutta Goswami, what did you hear when you were present in the dialogue between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj? So one dialogue is referring to a previous dialogue, and sometimes that refers to an even previous dialogue. That's Srimad Bhagavatam. So you're always in the middle of some conversations, and the conversations consist of questions and answers. So as we explained before, beginners may think, just give me the answers. But Bhagavatam is about just give you the questions and the answers. Because the questions stimulate love of Krishna, as well as the answers. So hopefully you have some questions that will stimulate our love for Krishna. Who will be the first one? everyone's hesitant now. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. What is the true way of being progressive in bhakti?
Being progressive in bhakti means to always pursue hearing and chanting about Krishna and serving Krishna. To always have that target in your mind's eye. And so naturally, in pursuit of that target, you're always shaping and reshaping your life. It's a constant process. Trimming away any excesses, noting areas in which improvement is needed, tightening up here, tightening up there. Always something can be done. You notice that your dealings with other devotees need to be improved. Appreciation of other devotees needs to be increased. Always finding a way to improve your offering of your life to Krishna. That's progressive. And when there's not that attitude of constant improvement, that leaves you open for the so-called progressiveness of the illusory energy, which always tries to bring more complications into your life and always tries to convince you, if you just make this material change, you'll be satisfied. If you just choose this material option instead of the material option you have, then you'll feel fulfilled. So this is the constant offering, the constant harassment, actually, of the material energy. Just choose this and you'll be satisfied. All you have to do is this, and then there'll be peace, inner peace. And the illusory energy, as I often point out, tries to convince you, you can surrender to me and Krishna too. You can have me, and you'll get material peace, and you can also keep holding on to Krishna and trying for spiritual peace. But how much Krishna do you have? Very little. But of the material illusion, you can have a big chunk. Something in your hand is better than nothing. Well, not that Krishna is nothing, but for you, Krishna is so far down the road, so far away. So you need something right now that you can sink your teeth into. Something you can get a handful of right now. So it's a constant choice we have to make. To be dragged down by the illusory energy, which is always making propositions, or to always have our eye on the target of increased service to Krishna. Basically, it comes down to this. When will I get tired of being the pseudo-enjoyer? When will I realize I can't be the direct enjoyer? This is what's hanging us up. We think that we are natural in the role of an enjoyer. And you can see this in us all the time. Imagining ourselves as the bhokta. Bhokta in Sanskrit means the enjoyer. Whereas Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. I am the supreme enjoyer. We will grant that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, but we also want that capacity for ourselves, at least to some degree. We'll say, well, it's not that I want to be the supreme enjoyer, but I do have a few programs that I would like to see in action. So to understand that we are not the enjoyer, we can't be the direct enjoyer, we're only indirect enjoyers, that takes a lifetime of bhakti progressiveness. Because the contamination runs so deep. It's amazing. So there's some vigilance that's required in bhakti. And sometimes weaker devotees, they say that, I'm tired of being on guard all the time. Watch out for Maya. Any moment your mind can cheat you, watch out. Well, enough is enough. I've been doing that for 2 years. When will I just be able to cut loose and do my thing without all this constant vigilance? Control your senses, watch your tongue. Watch how you associate with others. When will I just